Good morning, Toronto. Good morning, Canada. It's a Monday, and we can now verify that is a shot of Toronto.
Yes. If you didn't know, now you know.
There's the proof. Tammy Sutherland, she's great. She's in today. Dina's off. She's back tomorrow. Great to see you. My name is Sid Teixeira. This is Breakfast Television. One of the more powerful visuals from the weekend in sports happened in Toronto. And it's Hall of Fame weekend in Toronto. It's happening tonight. It's a big induction class specifically for Swedish hockey. You have Henrik and Daniel Sedin. They're going in the Hall of Fame tonight. Canuck fans, you don't need me to tell you about those two. Those in the lower mainland watching this. Daniel Alfredsson, longtime captain of the Ottawa Senators, he's going in tonight. So the Leafs, one of the best things the Leafs do is when it's Hall of Fame weekend, they bring in just a bunch of amazing people. And there's always special moments. One of those people was Börje Salming. Börje Salming is one of the greatest Toronto Maple Leafs of all time. And not that long ago was diagnosed with Lou Gehrig's disease. His health is failing. He has lost his ability to speak, among other things. And a lot of people are just thinking of Börje Salming a lot in the city of Toronto. Börje Salming, considering how important a weekend this is for Swedish hockey, made his way to Toronto and made not one but two appearances at Scotiabank Arena over the weekend. The one we're going to show you is from Friday night. This was his ovation on Hall of Fame night. Daryl Sittler, a longtime teammate of his, he cannot keep it together next to him, and this speaks for itself. Take a look.
The first Swede inducted into the Hockey Hall of Fame and the highest scoring defenseman in Maple Leafs history, Börje Salming.
That is just heart-wrenching. You saw Matt Sundin there, another long-time legendary Leaf as well. Daryl Sittler not being able to not cry. Matt Sundin held it together, but Daryl Sittler, as a former player who was alongside Börje Salming, the entire 16 years that he was playing, it's just so emotional to see that. And it was the next night, on Saturday night, they played a tribute video to Börje Salming. And I learned a lot just because I am not a huge hockey fan. I haven't been following it all, throughout my childhood. But I know that when you hear Börje Salming was the first Swede to be brought into the league and to still have some of his records standing up today as a Maple Leaf, which is amazing. Highest scoring defenseman.
Highest scoring Leaf in franchise history. Yeah. And for guys like Morgan Riley and Swedish defensemen like Rasmus Sandin watching that, that's these are the images of Börje Salming that I have growing up. He was one of the best defensemen I've ever seen, and one of the toughest. He was. I don't want to go into the details, but in Detroit during his career, one of the most horrific incidents in hockey history happened. Someone skated on him, and he needed 100 stitches on his face, and he wasn't out that long. And when he came into the league, listen, Swedish hockey players weren't welcome. He was the new guy. He was breaking ground. And quite frankly, players took liberties on him left and right. He was physically assaulted some nights, no exaggeration, in the National Hockey League. Because back then it was allowed. People just looked the other way. And he persevered. And he kept fighting. And he stuck with it. And I'm sure even Harold Ballard, the Leafs, the owner at the time, didn't really care for him that much. That was the atmosphere that he walked into.
Right.
But he set a tone for Swedish hockey in the league that people can feel to this day, and especially on this weekend, not far from us at the Hockey Hall of Fame, where 3 Swedish players are going in tonight. 3. It is an incredible story, Börje Salming, and to see him in Toronto, we're not sure how many more chances we're going to get to see Mr. Salming in Toronto, but it was a heck of a weekend, and it was a moment that I think a lot of Leaf fans and hockey fans, quite frankly, aren't going to forget.
And to see the path that he paved, because on Saturday night, the Leafs, for the first time ever, actually had a starting lineup that was all Swedish players.
Including the goalie.
Right.
It's an excellent point.
Right. Yeah. And so that's amazing that he came in as the first, and look at the path that he has paved now.
Terrific.
Incredible.
Point. Just we felt we had to show you that because that was, I won't forget that anytime soon.